Yeah, we're ready. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much, Jonathan. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's Reps Call. This is the first call of February, so welcome. I hope you're having a great time. I'm gonna say who I see on the ether, but unfortunately, I cannot see the list of the names in the video room. So hello and welcome, Sandeep, Eduardo, Bala, Livia, Nilma, Jason, Monica, Strustica, Robert, and Kit, Team Max. We have Ashley in the room. We also have Janice. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this call. Thank you so much for being here with us. I am going to give the quick shout out. Cynthia, she's awesome, and she's also the rep of the month. Cynthia is from Brazil, and she's doing a bunch of stuff when it comes to sumo. She's a community builder in sumo. So go and check out the article on the reps portal and congratulate her on this course or on the blog post. Thank you very much, Cynthia, for all you're doing. We deeply appreciate it. Okay, without further delay, I'm gonna give the floor to Ashley, who's gonna talk about the Rust community. Or if you wanna go second, we can give the floor to Janice.
No, it's cool. I can kick it off. Again, sorry for being late. I'm still joining video chats is always a little confusing as a outsider, which I imagine this group is probably familiar with. Hi, my name's Ashley Williams, and I'm on the Rust core team, and I also am the community team lead for Rust. And so this year, the community team in Rust is working to both expand and build a lot more structure. And I think kind of historically, the Rust teams and Mozilla have kind of been separate. But one of our biggest goals this year is to get rid of that siloedness and open up some more communication channels so that we can collaborate a bunch together. And so it's worth noting that the video just gave me an error that said general error, and that was it. So sorry, computers. Yeah, so the community team is breaking into sub-teams, and two of the ones that I think are probably most relevant for this group, well, I guess there's maybe three, is we're going to have an events team, a content team, and we're also kicking off an internationalization team. And so I've talked a little bit with Lucy and Javi about this, and I am only slowly figuring out who is what and how everything in Mozilla is organized. But one thing I want to note is the Rust open, we kind of think of this as like the Rust open source teams, but they're really interested in getting people who are in Mozilla to be joining these open source teams. And so I guess I just want to say these are the types of teams that we have, and those are the things we're working on. And so if you are working on those things and want to get involved, we are really excited about that. One of our biggest goals this year in particular is to grow the Rust community globally. We tend to have a lot of presence in the United States and Europe, but we're definitely trying to focus on other communities now to get them involved. So I hope that was enough intro, but any questions or comments, let me know.
Hey, Ashley, I'm taking some notes while you speak. First of all, thank you very much for being here. I have events team, communication team, and what was the last one?
Internationalization?
Yeah,
so that's going to be both people who are interested in the technical work of implementing systems that do internationalization well, which is tricky. But then also we're really hoping to develop a community of translators. And I know that Mozilla has a really good history of being awesome at that. So would love to hear more about y'all's experience and anything in that regard.
Are you teaming up with the LTN team? The localization team? Are you teaming up with the localization team inside Mozilla, the LTN people?
So you should probably assume that if there's a team about something that exists at Mozilla, I may not know about it. So I would love an intro. That would be great. I worked at Mozilla probably like 3 years ago, and I worked on the foundation side, so I only knew what it looked like in there. So it's a big place.
No worries. The LTN is a shortened for localization because it's a big word, so people prefer to call it LTN. And it's the community, the folks who are helping the community localizing in their locales Firefox. So you might want to talk to them. They're a huge community of localizers, so volunteer localizers around the world, helping bringing Firefox in different locales. So you might want to talk to them.
That sounds awesome. Absolutely.
Okie dokie. Are there any more questions in the room? No? Do we have any Rust folks I can hear? I know some of you are having Rust events. Cairo? No?
Hello.
Oh, hey, Tunde.
Yeah. I would like to ask how about the Rust community. What's the goal and how can other communities get to participate?
Totally. So our primary goal is to kind of provide structure and organization to the open source community around Rust. And if you're interested in joining, we run meetings every other Wednesday in our IRC channel. You can reach out to me via email, and my email should be on this invite, or I can get Katerina to do an invite between us, an intro, so we can start. If you're hosting an event, we definitely want to know about it so we can help promote it. We just put out a blog post yesterday about events we know coming up for 2018. So if there are more, we definitely want to know. Additionally, because Rust has like a strange relationship with Mozilla, it's sort of an independent project that's like kind of vaguely sponsored by Mozilla. It's definitely important to kind of like circle up with at least somebody who's from the Rust team, because there's some like weirdness around naming and logo use, which can be a pain in the butt. And we just also have like a ton of resources to help give you support for your event. We'll print you stickers and all sorts of things. So yeah.
Actually,
Yes, that's pretty good.
so
That's
I
good
think the
because
same.
here in
Sorry.
Nigeria, okay, continue. I will ask my question later.
Cairo, you had a question?
Yeah, actually, I think the same is true in the other way. So I think us as reps are very interested in hearing if anyone does Rust meetups and so on in our regions. And I think a lot of us, me for sure, but I think it's true for a lot of us, are very happy to use the resources we have to also support those events. Like, for example, a number of us have meetup pages already for Mozilla events. We can cross-announce Rust meetups there and get people pulled in with that and stuff like that.
That sounds super awesome. So it's probably worth noting that for events, the Rust team runs what we call the Rust community calendar. And to get on the calendar, basically any meetup person emails community@rustling.org, and we give them access to the calendar to add their events. And we also have like a large list of all of the user groups, so you should be able to find one in your group. If you look at the events blog post we just published, that should have links to all of it. But if you want links, you can also just email me directly. We're working on making sure that there's like a landing spot for anybody who wants to reach out to the Rust community to have all the links. That's something we definitely need to work on. But yeah, definitely get in touch, because there are a lot of Rust user groups all over the world right now, and even more are forming. Like we get emails like at least once or twice a week about a new group. So
Thank you, Cairo. And Ashley, sorry, somebody is asking about the address of the blog post that they can follow, if you can throw it on the user card.
yeah, absolutely. I have to join.
Cool. Do I have any other questions? Nope. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Ashley, for joining us. You can join whenever you want. This is an open call for everyone to join. And I'm going to pass to topic 2. We have today Janice. She's going to talk about season 2 of IRL Podcast. Janice, welcome to the Resp Call.
Thank you very much, and thanks for having me. I'm excited to tell you a little bit about what we've got going on with the IRL podcast. We started this podcast in June, at the end of June, and really the thinking behind the podcast was to create a deeper way for people to engage with internet health issues. And the idea behind the podcast is that people separate their online lives from their real lives. That's where we got the phrase IRL. And the podcast intends to sort of tie those two things back together to show people that what happens online is actually real life, and we should use the same filters we use when we think about our real lives. The season 2 launched about 2 weeks ago, and the theme of the season is really about identity. So each episode sort of looks at an online issue through the filter of identity. The first one was about bots, and particularly political bots. The second one was about digital addiction, and the one that's going to come out on Monday is all about facial recognition. There are 7 episodes in the season. Our host, Veronica Belmont, is really an interesting voice. She's been in tech forever, and has a really great way of making technology issues feel accessible to anyone without compromising the sort of complexity of the issue itself. You can find the podcast at irlpodcast.org or any podcast service you use to listen to podcasts. And certainly, if you have ideas or thoughts, please shoot them my way, Janice Greenspan, and we'd love to hear from you about it.
Cool, Janice. One question that popped in my mind. Do you actually have numbers on how many people listen to this?
We do. We have about 1.6 million downloads so far since June. We have about 60,000 subscribers. And I think one of the things that's been the most interesting to me has been to see the way the Firefox community reacts to it. So we place each podcast in a snippet and in an email that goes to the Firefox list and to the Mozilla list. And we get a ton of downloads through those placements, showing me that Firefox users are actually really interested in online issues and internet health issues.
Sorry, I was throwing in the link there for people that asked. Thank you very much. Does anybody have any questions in the room? No? Yes? Okie dokie. Thank you very much for being here, Janice. Thank you for being with us. If you have
Thank
any
you.
questions, people do add them on the Etherpad, and I will make sure that Janice gets them. So I'm gonna pass on topic 4 because I think that Ankit is more interesting than me. So Ankit, I'm gonna put you in the spotlight, and you're gonna talk about Privacy Month, what's next, and the Aadhaar campaign happening right now in India. Ankit, are you here?
Hi everybody. Thank you, Constantina, for giving me the floor. Um, Janice, it was really amazing. You talking about IRL, because I've been listening to it. Not many people are from India. We would like to absolutely help you out through the privacy teachings that we are doing in India to, make this more relevant and more accessible to people in India. I think they're gonna enjoy it a lot. Yeah. On that note, I just want to touch base on how the Privacy Month has been up till now. We have been sharing a tip a day for the last 31 days. It just finished yesterday. Today we just shared a tip about how to get involved with the task force that has been organizing this Privacy Month. This year we had a lot of new things coming up. Example, speaker series, good traction around that. We had 2 different speaker series sessions this time. Also, we tried to create new content around tips, because we didn't want to repeat the tips that have been sent out for the last 2 years. So the content curation team really did a great job. Right now we don't have all the tips documented on the wiki, but you can check the wiki on line 118 to see how the Privacy Month went on. The main thing that we want to do is keep this momentum going and keep the learning and teaching around privacy and security open for all. And for that, there is a link on line number 111 where you can fill up a form, and we'll get in touch with you with the next privacy related campaigns and information that we have, or any other events that we want to build up. I know this is a Google form and many people won't be really interested in filling up that, but please bear with us. We are trying to improve this procedure as much as we can. Uh, we are collecting emails, IRC, Nicks or Telegram handles or Twitter handles, however you want to you want us to get in touch with you. What's next is we want to have a follow-up privacy month call so that we can get more ideas on how to keep this momentum going, not only for privacy month in January, but as privacy teaching sessions all around the year. Then the other thing was the speaker series got a lot of response, in fact positive response, and we want to keep it going. So we want some more ideas around it. So we'll be talking about that as well. Around offline events, again, we want people to host offline events. One of the good things that we can include is the IRL podcast, obviously, and help. Yeah, and plus we also want to create activities that are hackable so that people in different countries in the world can change them however they want for privacy issues related in their country. Example, in India there is a big privacy problem called Aadhaar system, so we are trying to create a campaign which can help people understand what Aadhaar is and how it is dealing with privacy and security problems. This event format or this campaign format can be taken and hacked into another campaign that is relevant in some other countries by Mozillans in that country. So that is something that we are aiming towards. So yeah, go ahead, check out hash privacy month tag on Twitter and Facebook if you are there, and you can see a lot of interactions there around, and the tips are really good. I would absolutely encourage you to go ahead, and if you have not seen it, go ahead and see it, and keep the conversation going. If you feel that some particular tip speaks about privacy in general and you have a better idea over it, go ahead and reply to it so that everybody gets educated. Yeah, thank you. Are there any questions?
Thank you very much, Ankit, for all the work that you and the rest of the Privacy Month team has been doing. I've been following along, and it's pretty cool. So go and support the Privacy Month team on social and help them out on spreading awareness about why privacy is important. You will also see some ad-her tweets coming from the Indians and the reps accounts. This is raising our voices on ad-her. Also, Mitchell Baker wrote an open letter that right now the Indian community is supporting by signing it to raise our concerns against ad-her. So thank you very much, Ankit. I am going to give quickly the council updates. We are introducing a better visualization on task management. We want to introduce a table on who works on what to give a better clarity and transparency to council's work. So you'll see better communication coming on council notes and not just bullets. We have review team renewal. The council has voted on the new review team, and soon you're going to learn about the results. We're now expecting for people to say that they accept their nomination or not, because they might not have time. So by the end of this week, you will hear more about this. We also have doing the screening team update. A lot of you have applied to be a member of the screening team. That is awesome. Expect news at the end of next week. And we also are on our OKRs process going. OKR stands for objective key results. I'm sorry. Now that the community development team's OKRs are published, you can see it on Mozillans. It's time to kick off the reps OKRs process. So you will see that online as well soon. Okay, I'm gonna give the non-verbal updates. Somebody's writing, if you're at Brazil, don't miss to participate in a dive into Rust workshop on our 2018 Rust Brazil Roadshow. Get your tickets, and there is a link. Ashley, you might want to check that. So if anyone from you who is watching or watching later and you're in Brazil, go and check out the Dive into Rust workshop that the Brazil community is supporting. We also have Privacy Month in January. We want reps involvement and ask them to job different group graphics. Check the link that the Privacy Month people have uploaded. And last but not least, for those of you who are in Europe or around Europe, this is the FOSDEM weekend, which means that a lot of people are going to FOSDEM to the Brussels event. So go and check it out. It's a big fest of the open source and everybody loves it. I'm going to be there as well. I'm so excited. Sorry. Okay, does anybody want to add anything else? Otherwise, I will end this call. Nope. Okay, I guess people really don't like my voice. That's totally fine. Okay, everybody, thank you all for being here and have a happy rest of the day, wherever in the world you are. Have a happy Thursday and see you all next week.